Hey there folks, Simon Burden with a video about what Kingdom Hearts is to me. And I don't just mean on a personal level, but also what I think the message is behind Kingdom Hearts as a franchise as a whole. Um, and we'll start with what I feel about Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, uh, when it came to the first game, I thought it may have just been about a guy who's just going around saving the Disney planets and having a bit of fun. And while that sort of is true, when it came to the later games, you kind of understood, like, especially for the game, like, right after, which was Chain of Memories, it wasn't about that. It made you realize that the first game was about making the memories and starting the connections that bound that character to all the other characters in the universe on all those different planets. And you then sort of understood that there is something different going on here, and within each game it got deeper and deeper. Up until, the most recent game, Kingdom Hearts 3, where you could see that it's all about connections. Every single world was about connections. Toy Story was whether the toys could still keep the connection with Andy despite them being in a parallel world, a world that had been ripped apart from the real one. And so, obviously, the experiment was from Xehanort to see if they could still keep that or whether one of them would fall to darkness. And obviously, of course, one of them at first did. But it sort of makes you realize the sort of connections you have with people around you, whether they're family or friends, loved ones, whether it be your other half, in which could potentially just mean your boyfriend or girlfriend, your spouse, your, maybe even your children and your grandchildren that are gonna come in the many years, or ones that you already have, depending on how old you are. And it's something that makes you realize what sort of impact have you had on their life? Like, what is it about you that's going to make them remember you? And I feel like that's part of the message. The other half of the message is, what have you done to make them feel important? How are you going to remember them? What sort of memories do you have to make you remember those people? And it's something that makes you realize maybe there is more. Maybe you really do actually have to spend your time with people and actually live life. It's not just, when it comes to friendship, it's not just about, hanging about, messing around. There's more to it. And I feel like that's what the game is trying to say. You have all these friends all around the world, some of them, most people just keep to the city that they live in, and that's fine. Um, I've got people over in America. I've got friends who've started doing missionary work all the way in Africa. I've still got people here. I've got, you know, people in different parts of the world who class me as a friend, and it's that thing of what have I actually done to make that impact on them? What have I done? What have I contributed in their lives? When it comes to Luna, me and him have done so many YouTube videos and so many Twitch streams together. It'll come across as our friends. And to be fair, he is someone that I would class as a friend in real life. I've got one actual friend in real life who lives on the other side of the city, but we still communicate. We do try and spend a bit of time with one another. I even, while we were both in Bradford for Celebration Day, I took her to a place that for me is important so that I could have another special memory there for me to go back down on memory lane whenever I decide to go back to that city at some point. So it's sort of important to me. And that's basically, I feel like the message of Kingdom Hearts is trying to figure out what it is that you've done for people and how you're going to remember. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to your friends and family and loved ones, you only have one life. And it's a matter of how have you spent it? What have you done? Kingdom Hearts lately has always got me thinking about the people that are in my life, that are deep down in my heart that I'm never gonna forget. One of them I've not spoken to in years, and I messaged them in August saying happy birthday. It's been a long while, and I confessed of how I felt for her back then when me and her was in the same city spending time with one another. And she actually went, I never knew you felt that way. I always thought of you as a brother/friend. And to this day she still feels the same way about me. And it actually made me happy to hear that, because despite the fact that me and her haven't seen each other for like 6 years, yeah, 6 years, she still thinks of me as a brother and a friend. And to be fair, me and her were Christians at the time, so maybe that's the other part, but maybe it's because of the fact that we were so close as well, that she sees me as part of her family. I don't know. I didn't ask. It just made me happy. And I will always keep that girl in my memories, no matter what. And even the only friend that I have now who lives on the other side of Leeds, she is important to me. And I feel as though we need to treasure the people that are important to us. And for me, that's not many people. I'm usually really selective of who I let into my life, who I let be close to me. It's not out of arrogance or ignorance or just wanting certain people. It's just because of how my background is. I mean, it's easier for me to connect to girls than it is to blokes. Oh god, sorry, I'm getting a bit of a runny nose, damn it. As I was saying, it's easier for me to connect to girls than it is to guys, because of the fact that my family is mainly female. I've got 3 sisters, and obviously my mom. The only male in my immediate part of the family is my father, who ran away at age when I was only 16. And even then, he wasn't much of a father figure. I never really got to see him all that much. But does that mean that I hate guys? No. It's just that most guys nowadays are complete idiots. Males in my generation seem to be very immature, even in their 20s. All they want to do is just party. And to be fair, most females are the same as well. You know, all they want to do is just party, go out, not take responsibilities for their actions. You know, some people do want to do that, but they take responsibility for their actions. I'm more likely to be friends with those that do take responsibility than those that don't. And, you know, I mean, going out to party, it isn't immature, it's just how some of those parties end up being, you know, after a certain time. Like, I don't mind going to a party every now and then. If anything, I think it's a good thing. I need to get out and socialise. But what I'm trying to get at is that if I'm going to be friends with someone, it's someone who's going to be a bit more mature, someone who doesn't go to party like every night, wasting their money on booze and alcohol and pub meals when they could be saving it up a bit, maybe treating themselves to a drink once every fortnight or something. You know, spending their money on actual food to survive, as well as maybe, I don't know, maybe every now and then treating themselves to something nice or something that they really wanted. Those are people I'm gonna be more friends with than those who just go out drinking, partying every night because they have nothing better to do. It's just who I am. I would rather be with that more mature people, those more mature groups. And I feel as though there's something else that Kingdom Hearts tries to tell us in terms of when it comes to Xehanort and his actions. Now, obviously, for those that haven't played the Kingdom Hearts franchise, I would recommend playing it. But basically, Xehanort is the main bad guy, but only due to his actions. When you think of his intentions, it's a little bit different. He wanted to change the world, make it a place that's better and brighter, somewhere that isn't filled with darkness. Now, is that a bad thing? No, not really. But the way he did things is what made it bad. But from his perspective, it was good. Because what he wanted to do was change things, and the only way he thought of was to summon Kingdom Hearts. But I don't fully think he realized what it was he was doing after a while. When you beat the game, you're able to get the secret reports that are sort of from different people. When you go through these battle gates, defeat all the enemies, you get secret reports as a reward for it. And they're a little different in this game. We've got some from an anonymous girl who I feel is a certain character, but I'll get into that in another video. And then you get some from a younger Xehanort who's only just started being taught on how to be a Keyblade wielder. So obviously, of course, you know, that's when he was young and bright. He wanted to actually get out there, defeat the darkness. But over the time, he sort of ended up going into the darkness. He wanted to control darkness and light equally, but I think he ended up going past the point of no return. And you could sort of do that with people in real life, sort of see their actions. And would you necessarily see it as being good or bad? And it all depends on the perspective. If you know the person more, you might see it as one way instead of the other. For example, when it comes to when it comes to, say, people that you love or that love you, you know, they're protective, they're being, they want to spend a lot of time with you, they want to show you how much that they love you. And depending on how that comes across to different people in different ways. Some people see it as clingy, annoying, overprotective, sometimes maybe even a bit controlling, depending on what's happening. And while that might be the case in what that person sees, the way the person that's actually being that way, and also others that might know that person a bit better, sees it as endearing. They're just trying to show how much they care, how much they love you, how much, that they don't want anything bad to happen to you, which is why they're trying to be a bit protective of you. It's not them being controlling or clingy. In their eyes, they think that they're just showing you how much they love you, how much they care, why they care. So you always have to think, there's always two sides. It's always it's not always just what you see, but also what they see, what they know, how they know of it, as well as also maybe what the people that are closer to them see. And it's one of these things that you need to actually look out for, because sometimes if you say the wrong thing, you might hurt that person. They're just just trying to be there for you and just trying to stop you from making these mistakes and show you how much I actually love you. And yet you're saying I'm being clingy and overprotective. I mean, obviously there's other ways, there are other things as well, like say when it comes to people that are classed as bullies. Now, don't get me wrong, I do not condone bullying. I got bullied myself quite a lot, like pretty much every day in school. I don't condone it. If you are just being a bully for the sake of just being cruel to someone, stop. Because you don't know what that personality has to go through in their personal lives. Why add more crap onto that? It's not fair. But there are some bullies who's because of violence might be all they know, due to how it is in their life, in their personal life. Some people might be bullies because it's all they know. Maybe they get beat up at home. Maybe they are insecure about themselves. And now, don't get me wrong, again, I don't condone bullying. But if you try and see it from both perspectives, it makes you actually question what's wrong, why is this happening, what can we change in this? And the root of the problem usually lies in someone's personal life and upbringing when it comes to bullying someone. And so therefore it's a matter of trying to help that person and make them realize that what they're doing doesn't help them, and what they're doing is also wrong to the person that they're doing it to. I got bullied by pretty much everybody in school, and yet nowadays they say, "Hey, how are you?" They're a lot more kinder to me if I were to see them, because I think they realize that what they did and how they were was wrong. But as I say, I don't condone bullying in any sort of way. If you are literally just bullying someone for the sake of being a cruel, evil git, then you need to grow up and sort of realize that we all have our problems. Don't pile onto it. It's just not fair. And if you decide to carry on, well, you'll get your just rewards later on in life, whether it be failing in life or ending up in jail or whatever. So don't bully people, not even on the internet. It's not fair, it's not right. Just stop, because there's no reason. But you can sort of see now where Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming from, in terms of the perspective as well, where you can sort of see Juice Zeno's background, and through the secret notes, he probably didn't even realize that what he was doing was wrong. He thought he was doing the right thing, so therefore it's just that thing of what could he have done different? Where's the issue lying? Whereabouts was it in his life that he started to think this is right? This is what I need to do to achieve the goals of changing the world. There are many things, there are many things that can make a person just change all of a sudden. Again, it all comes down to perspective. As long as you know that person on a personal level, like really close, then you'll sort of be able to see what it is that's going on in their lives and what's making them feel this way. Maybe you can help them realize their mistakes. Don't just say, this is too much, or you're doing this, you're being evil. Actually state to them what it is that they're doing wrong, despite their good intentions. At the end of the day, the truth does need to be said, and I feel as though people that decide to lie or hold back the truth don't really help many people out. At the end of the day, the truth needs to be said no matter how hard it is. But again, just be careful of the perspective. They may not see that what they're doing is wrong. They might just see it as them just being them because of how they're being brought up. This person that you think is being clingy and overprotective, that might not be what they think. They might just think that they're showing their love for you and wanting to spend a lot of time with you. So after this video, what I want you to do is think on the people in your lives. Think about how they've been treating you. And think if it is wrong or not. We all make mistakes in many different ways, whether it's in our actions or our judgments of people. But you need to rectify those mistakes. And if you're wrong, then you need to say, I'm sorry. I understand now what's wrong. I understand now that you weren't being clingy and overprotective. You were just trying to show how much you cared. Oh, to your family, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were telling me not to do this because you were trying to be protective. Make sure I don't make mistakes. You need to realize that sometimes the best time to actually do this is now. Because you don't know when anything is going to happen to people. And it's the one thing that I've been saying a bit about. You don't know when your life will end and how. So make every moment count. Rectify your mistakes. Say sorry to those you've done wrong to. Say sorry for those you've misjudged. Say sorry to those you've not fully understood what they've done and you thought it was wrong. At least then, you won't have any enemies. And they'll understand that, maybe there was something that they did and probably just set that off. And that's what I'm gonna leave this video on. So, please, for those that are deciding to watch this video, think about what it is that's actually happening in the other person's life. And if it is a loved one, whether it's someone that loves you or vice versa, think, who else do they have that actually cares for them? Because if they've got no one else, and you just said that, you may have pushed them away, back to having no one. Or at least that's what they'll think in their mind. If the people around you are safe, treasure them. Because you really don't know when things will go wrong.